Social anxiety is something that has played a massive role in my life since I was very young. This fear of, loving people, but also this fear that people can hurt you, and people, you know, this these senses of obligation and negotiating boundaries and helping people understand who we are, and not, sometimes feeling like we have to harm ourselves in order to help other people. And I've realized that those things aren't necessary. Hello. This morning is chilly. I'm just doing some errands, and I was just thinking this morning, different aspects of self-love and self-care that I didn't realize. Being able to meditate and go into mindfulness where you allow, or for me, allowing everything, or like continuously coming back to these thoughts that I am totally safe and I appreciate who I am. I want the best for myself, and I want to be happy, and I want to be calm, and I want to be feeling nurtured throughout the process of all my activities and all the decisions that I make, just especially early in the morning when I first wake up, it's really helping me to set these intentions and establish that kind of relationship to myself, how I'm going to partner with myself throughout the day. Establishing, that I want to, I just realized my earphones are in here, so I don't know if you can hear what I'm saying, but I just want to sink into that feeling in the morning. And then, I'm wondering also, what does that feel like and look like to me to humanize myself after a crazy process over the past 7 years of, my recovery, becoming a recovered person, and also becoming a person who, slowly trying to change the relationship I had to myself, where I actually wanted to set goals for myself that I would go after, and I wanted to have more agency in my life after, it just changing my priorities and making it, helping myself feel like the world is a safer place to be in, especially because social anxiety is something that has played a massive role in my life since I was very young. This fear of, loving people, but also this fear that people can hurt you, and people, you know, this these senses of obligation and negotiating boundaries and helping people understand who we are, and not, sometimes feeling like we have to harm ourselves in order to help other people. And I've realized that those things aren't necessary. But those were the kind of mindsets that were in my mind for so long. So it's, through this whole process, the past 7 years for me especially, I'm at this place now where I'm like, okay, well, I've kind of hit that personal development, like strategic, force myself to do things. I've kind of hit that as hard. I think it's like brought me as far as it can bring me. So now this other piece of the puzzle that I'm settling into is this process of how to enjoy being a human. Remembering it's okay to humanize myself, and to not to not feel like I'm above, I don't know, being a person who likes people things, and um, because that can be afraid, right? Or that can be scary to be vulnerable with our self-expression more. But I think as I'm doing this work of self-love and understanding how to partner with myself, that's partly why it's important for me to express myself more, because it gives me that opportunity to remember my my self-love and remember the ways to protect myself and prioritize my partnership with myself, so that I can have good, authentic, mutual partnerships with other people too. So yeah, um, I don't really know what form these things are gonna take. I'm just practicing. When I'm in my home, I'm just walking around, and normally I would feel like really stressed out, like, oh my god, like things are messy. This is like assigning a moral factor, to like clothes being not put away, or just feeling constantly stressed. And instead I'm just like trying to feel it as a vibe, like as a sweet, lovable characterization of parts of me, and how to respect myself, and that I'm worthy of love and care and respect and success, even if I don't have everything picture perfect put together and organized. And yeah, it's a lot of it is fighting against these models of productivity and, you know, um, overblown, like cleanliness is godliness, or organization is godliness, or like control is godliness kind of feeling. I do love for things to feel homey, but um and I have empathy for myself too, where I notice that my mental health, the priorities are going somewhere else. And not even that I'm having mental health difficulties, but noticing that my priorities are going elsewhere, and being like, oh, where are my priorities going? And just wondering, because maybe my priorities going somewhere else. I mean, towards all the new things I'm doing in my life, um, that are a part of, this entrepreneurship journey and this self-discovery journey. If focusing my energy on those things means I have a little bit less energy for cleaning for a while, then that's good. And it also helps me realize that, as I am learning how to partner with myself, I can learn how to feel safe and secure to clean, and to use my time in other ways, um that I do want to do. But it's like I don't have to make it this big overblown, like judging myself, this fear kind of thing, this, oh, my dreams aren't going to come true if I don't do this kind of thing in my mind, in order to clean, because sometimes that just makes it exhausting, and then I end up just being like, not even gonna think about it, just let it go, because because of those kind of judgmental thoughts that are used to coming up in my head when I think of a task to do, like, you know, just cleaning related things. So, yeah, it's a very long process to untangle all these things, but it's worth it, because this is the firm foundation, this partnership with ourselves, from which we base um, our growth as a business operator. Um, that process of actually growing to what is authentic for us, and understanding how to nurture ourselves, and how to even tell to have that certainty that we can tell what we need and make decisions with confidence. And sometimes making decisions with confidence looks like, knowing when we can acknowledge it's an experiment, knowing when we can acknowledge that we aren't investing or committing in something overly. That's something that I tend to struggle with, is when I have an idea that I love, kind of going too all in to try to make it come true. And that kind of puts destabilizing pressure on this thing, and also comes from this philosophy that I have to, that the only way to succeed at something is by pushing and forcing yourself and having enough pressure and fear to make it happen. That has a place of truth in the world, but what I'm really trying to investigate is how to use excitement, openness, comfort, and safety to motivate myself. And I find that really healing and nurturing and right for me at this time in my life, given all, the unique characteristics that are, they're just all the factors that give me certain strengths and certain limitations and certain resources this time in my life. So anyway, that's just what's on my mind this morning. These thoughts of self-love, self-respect, just thinking that there's different dimensions of partnering with myself that I haven't realized before. And it's so magical and beautiful, because no matter who you are, no matter what your life experience have been, this partnership you have with your own self is it's the basic foundation you have that determines your quality and type of partnerships with fellow people, and it determines how you interpret scenarios, and how you make your own decisions, and where you stand, and what roles you play in relationships or situations. So it is so foundational and so beautiful, because how are we going to accomplish beautiful things in the world that help other people and help ourselves? And how are we going to enjoy being alive, the whole purpose of being alive? How are we going to enjoy it unless we are working with ourselves to learn how we can help ourselves enjoy it, and enjoy it in a sustainable way? Anyway, thank you so much for listening, and I hope something has been helpful for you in here. And I would love to hear just examples from your own life lately of what self-love has been meaning to you and looking like, what you're experimenting with, what you're bless me, sorry, what you're having fun with. And I would love to hear just your thoughts on partnering with yourself, coaching yourself, that relationship you have with your own self, and just like kind of what your process is of changing, altering, reestablishing, reframing this partnership you have with yourself. So, take care and talk later. Bye.